I'm saying we talking about big boy money, right? Multi-million-dollar deal. Like, hey, we putting this money up for you. Now they have buy-in to what you create. It's no longer a Gil's Arena, like
It's
Gil's
our arena.
whatever. It's our
News and tales drift through the air. Advice served with a velvet flair.
as our daily drip show is content. So we are content creators. And so this hits near and dear home for a couple reasons. One, content creator, but two, was an athlete. So I definitely really, really resonate with this. Y'all hear about Gil's Arena? Tell me y'all heard about Gil's Arena. They are on YouTube. They are a big show that actually their premise was to take over, what was that, First Take? Or with Stephen A. and all that going on. And then they were basically trying to make the same space in YouTube. Well,
They made the space. It wasn't that they wasn't trying. They was doing.
And they were live streaming, which was it's very rare to me that you get content from like an athlete in real time, because usually, they got PR people, and granted he's retired, right? He's a retired athlete. But the people on the show, like, there's backlash to messing up anything live. So I was always very surprised that he actually hopped on live and was doing this live. And he seems pretty transparent, which is like his persona on the court kind of matches his persona on Gil's Arena, which I'm very surprised at. So yeah, but let's talk about this deal. So Gil and the squad just secured the bag, but let's talk about whose bag is it? Whose bag is it? What do I mean by that? So they ended up signing a multi-million-dollar deal with Underdog. Underdog, if you don't know who that is essentially like their sponsor, because like I said, they were trying to take over First Take by the end of this year. So if you're watching me right now, meaning that you too value content creation, as well, and it is in competition with regular TV. Like, we have to be honest here that, creators are kind of becoming networks, and it's no longer just talent, but it depends on your platform, right? But let's talk about that deal. Let's talk about who's really cashing out when the creators go corporate. So Underdog, they put up money to sponsor Gil's Arena, right? And I don't know if we have that video ready, but they sponsored Gil's Arena. And so when they started pouring, 50%, I'm saying we talking about big boy money, right? Multi-million-dollar deal. Like, hey, we putting this money up for you. Now they have buy-in to what you create. It's no longer a Gil's Arena, like Gil is
our arena.
Whatever. It's it's Gil's Arena, but our arena, for real. And so the master investor is going to talk about how content creation has kind of changed and his thoughts on that. And then I'll come back and do a little bit more on the deep dive of what's going on behind the scenes with it. Shout out to the master investor.
So Gilbert Arenas, he announced on his podcast that Underdog Fantasy owns 50% of his show, and that they could potentially lead to downsizing, maybe less episodes, less staff, if the revenue doesn't make sense. Is the podcast game falling apart?
I've been screaming this for 3 or 4 years. To me, it is a indicator of how well someone is or is not doing based on how quickly they are willing to get into arguments with others. Our podcast in trouble? Yes. I think the formation of them, I like Gil a lot. Gil's Arena actually is one of my favorite shows, but the difference that we have to stress is that every good deal and good partnership that looks good may not be good for you long term. What good is a partnership if they removed his name off of Gil's Arena? Like, Gil is straight, Gil's money, Gil probably made $400 million in his lifetime in the NBA. So he's fine. But I do think some of these podcasts and streaming deals can be predatory. Independence is important. Being a good business person is your own. And the one thing I want to stress, like, people a lot of times go for bigger viewership. The number that really matters is percentage of equity and non-dilutable shares. It's a lot of y'all who getting 2 million views and can't scrounge up 20,000 for an emergency. Don't walk into the predatory deal is my advice. Continue to build craft that people are going to need from you. But I think it's a travesty what is being done with that deal structure and the timing of it after the gambling. The irony even in that. He get arrested for underground gambling, and here come Underdog.
We're going to touch on that right there. Y'all don't know, Gil got arrested for gambling. Now let's go ahead and sorry, I've been over here sneezing. Everything was great. I believe the deal started in February of this year. So earlier this year, they said, you know, you got the staff, you got people, y'all doing great. We gonna give y'all this money, right? Because the platform, you know, from technology perspective, let's pause for a second. Back in the day, the only way you were getting content, aka information, aka people you like to listen to, you're gonna go to that cable. You're gonna go to the news, the local channels. Now, some of y'all remember when you only could go to TV and turn it. Y'all was doing that clickety clack with turning and only got a couple stations, which was the closest local stations that you had. So the closest metropolitan area to you, you typically got those stations. Similar with radio. Technology has put to the forefront, and like now you can quickly choose what you want. And so let's talk about predatory lending. The checks get bigger, right? Hey, you got multi-million-dollar deal. You know, you got the lights. Like Gil already had the setup. He had the, you know, the spot set up. He had the cameras. He had, you know, drinks and chicks bringing stuff out already. He was already doing a good chunk of that stuff. But then that multi-million-dollar deal came up, right? So checks get bigger. The fine print, though, gets smaller, which we can say is close to predatory lending. I'm going to have to agree with him. There is something to be said where now, back in the day when you were turning that knob or you had to buy cable, right? The vetting was different. They, as in whatever powers that be, picked who was going to be on air. With the internet, with technology, you know, you can get a Kai Cenat, right? Like where he's coming on, he's able to just stream and just do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. Mr. Beast, another content creator where, you know, they can pop on and do what they want to do. And these investors are like, and they lay on up and up. So my question, drop some drip in the comments. Do y'all consider this a trap? Do y'all think this is trap level?
What you like, because you can until you can't. Because there are other content creators like the Pop the Balloon, for example, right, where they had that Netflix deal, much like not
That's
like
similar.
Mr. Beast, but you get other entities that want to come in and change pieces and parts of how it
you
would
operate.
work.
Yeah, what made your sauce, that mac sauce? What was really in that mac sauce? I don't know if we like what's in that mac sauce. Can you change that a little bit? Well, then that would make it mac sauce. Well, it's just not healthy enough. You know, we
Put some horseradish in it.
Yeah, like what? Hold on, wait a minute. It's my grandma. No, it's our recipe, baby. You gotta just put your name on it. But it's no longer really mac sauce. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's more about it's Gil's light instead of the actual arena itself, which made it what it is. And then you start putting other figures on there, and now when people go to the show, they're expecting to see the people that they saw before, and it's a totally different vibe, a totally different set of characters, and then you see some people that you wouldn't expect to see on a regular basis on this damn show. You're like,
pour it slow, let it flow through the night. Gem and Dame got the glow, got the light. What's the word? What's the scene? What's the truth? Our squad's in the house, what it means to you. A daily drip, it's the fix you need. News and the vibes we plan.